Have you ever felt starving just an hour after a big meal? It's not a lack of willpower. It's actually a sneaky early sign your body is becoming insulin resistant. Today, we're uncovering the 10 signals most doctors miss before it's too late. Hello, health champions. Today I'm going to walk you through 10 signs you could be developing insulin resistance, even when your blood sugar tests look normal. This matters because doctors often check the wrong thing first, and that can delay diagnosis by years. Let's get into it. Sign 1. Hunger and cravings 1 to 2 hours after eating. If you feel intense hunger or cravings about 1 to 2 hours after eating, don't write it off as weak willpower. Insulin resistance can cause insulin to be released late and in bigger amounts. Your blood sugar may spike, then insulin overshoots, and that rapid drop, more than the absolute low, triggers hunger and cravings. So you might feel ravenous even when your glucose reading isn't technically low. Visualize it. Picture glucose and insulin as two curves that normally rise together and quickly settle. In insulin resistance, insulin lags, then shoots much higher to compensate, and then crashes fast. It's the speed of that drop that makes you reach for snacks. Sign 2. Energy crash after meals. Do you feel wiped out after eating? Food raises blood glucose, and insulin moves glucose into cells for energy. But when cells resist insulin, there's less glucose inside them, even though the blood has plenty. That means your cells lack fuel and your energy crashes. This explains those post-meal slumps that feel like you need a nap. Sign 3. Brain fog. Trouble focusing. The brain needs proper insulin signaling too. Insulin must cross the blood-brain barrier through a transporter that can get overwhelmed. Chronic high insulin can clog that transporter, reducing insulin's effect in the brain. The result? Impaired signaling, less glucose use in brain cells, and symptoms like brain fog and poor concentration. Sign 4. Growing waistline and belly fat. Insulin is a storage hormone. It tells the body to put excess fuel into fat. The liver converts extra fuel into triglycerides, and visceral, belly, fat tends to take it first because it sits around the liver. Over time you may not gain overall weight, but fat redistributes inward. Thin on the outside, fat on the inside. Lack of muscle from inactivity also speeds this change. Sign 5. Trouble losing weight. If you can't lose weight despite doing what feels right, insulin might be the reason. High insulin suppresses hormone-sensitive lipase, HSL, the enzyme inside fat cells that breaks down stored fat. With HSL suppressed, fat stays locked away, you feel hungrier, and losing weight becomes much harder. This isn't about willpower, it's physiology. Sign 6. High triglycerides and low HDL on blood work. One classic lab pattern for insulin resistance is high triglycerides and low HDL cholesterol. When insulin resistance reduces fat burning, the liver makes more VLDL, rich in triglycerides. Those triglycerides get shuffled onto HDL particles, making them smaller and shorter lived, so your usable HDL drops. This pattern, high triglycerides and low HDL, often signals metabolic trouble. Sign 7. Slowly rising blood pressure. High insulin increases the kidney's retention of sodium and water, nudging blood pressure upward. This creeping rise can start long before blood sugar looks abnormal. So a slow climb in blood pressure could be an early sign of insulin-driven changes. Sign 8. Waking up at night. This is one of the weaker signs but still plausible. Insulin resistance can make blood sugar regulation across the night less stable. Your body's counter-regulatory hormones, glucagon, adrenaline, cortisol, and growth hormone, work to keep glucose stable during sleep. When this system is wobbly, adrenaline and glucagon surges may wake you up. If you often wake suddenly at night feeling alert, it's worth considering. Sign 9. Elevated uric acid. Insulin resistance lowers the kidney's ability to excrete uric acid, so your blood levels can creep up. High uric acid can lead to gout, painful crystal buildup in joints like the big toe, but even a mild rise on blood tests can be an early red flag for metabolic trouble. It's easy and cheap to check, and it often shifts before glucose or lipids do. Sign 10. High insulin with normal blood glucose, the strongest sign. This is the clearest early indicator. Elevated insulin while glucose remains normal. The problem is most clinicians rarely measure insulin. There's a useful measure called HOMA-IR, the homeostatic model assessment of insulin resistance. It's a simple formula. Multiply fasting glucose by fasting insulin, then divide by 405 to get a manageable number. The glucose range commonly used is about 65 to 100 milligrams per deciliter, and fasting insulin in healthy people is often around 2 to 5 micro-U per milliliter. Why this matters? Insulin precedes glucose. Think of glucose as a tightly defended value in the body. The body will raise insulin to keep blood glucose steady for years. That means blood sugar often stays normal, while insulin climbs progressively higher. Insulin is the red line that rises over time as the body works harder. Glucose is the yellow line that stays flat until the system starts to fail, decades later. Because glucose is a controlled variable, relying only on it misses early insulin resistance, sometimes for 20 years. Real-world example: imagine two people, both with fasting glucose near 90. Person A has fasting insulin at 4.5 and a HOMA-IR around 1. Person B has the same glucose but insulin of 15, and HOMA-IR jumps to about 3. In other words, nearly the same glucose but far more insulin effort, far more insulin resistance. That extra insulin is causing the problems we talked about: cravings, belly fat, high triglycerides, sleep issues, and high blood pressure. Why common treatments can backfire? Here's a critical point. When insulin resistance is treated like a blood sugar problem, some treatments actually increase insulin, either by giving insulin or by using medicines that raise insulin production. That can make insulin resistance worse. We need to understand insulin itself, not just blood glucose, to avoid making the underlying problem worse. What you can do right now: practical tips: ask your doctor for fasting insulin and fasting glucose together. If they push back, explain you want to calculate HOMA-IR. It's a cheap test. Check a standard lipid panel, look at triglycerides and HDL, and uric acid. Adjust diet to reduce rapid insulin spikes. Prioritize whole foods, fiber, protein, and healthy fats. Avoid frequent high sugar drinks and highly processed carbs. Add resistance training and walk more to preserve muscle and improve insulin sensitivity. Track symptoms. Note post-meal cravings, energy crashes, brain fog, sleep interruptions, and waist changes. These are useful clues to bring to your provider. Myth versus fact. Quick hits myth: normal blood sugar means you're not insulin resistant. Fact: blood sugar can stay normal for years while insulin is high. Myth: weight loss is only about willpower and calories. Fact: hormones like insulin can lock fat in place and increase hunger, making weight loss physiologically hard. Why testing insulin matters. Insulin is the early warning signal. It shows how hard your body is working to keep glucose normal. If we measured insulin routinely, we could detect trouble earlier and direct treatment toward lowering insulin and improving sensitivity, instead of simply increasing insulin further. Closing summary: if you notice post-meal hunger, energy crashes, brain fog, growing belly fat, stubborn weight, high triglycerides with low HDL, creeping blood pressure, poor sleep, elevated uric acid, or, best of all, high fasting insulin with normal glucose, you could be on the path to insulin resistance. Don't wait until glucose looks bad. Test insulin and act early. One memorable takeaway: blood glucose is the last domino to fall. Insulin tells you what's happening long before that.
Thanks for watching Vitality Health Works. Small, science-backed habits build lasting health. Start today. If this helped, like and subscribe and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.